Welcome back to the deep dive. We know you want to get right to the core of complex topics fast. And today, well, we've got a really interesting one. We're diving deep into a specific pathway for international students, particularly from India, looking at Germany for education and maybe, a future there. The big question we're tackling, pulled straight from the materials you shared, is pretty fascinating. How can studying in Germany, specifically at private universities, actually pave the way to permanent residency, maybe even a German passport for Indian students? Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's do it. And to help us, we've been digging into some really insightful excerpts. They're from a document called German University Pathway to Residency for Indian Students. Our aim here is really just to pull out the key practical takeaways from this material for you, focusing on what this alternative path actually looks like on the ground.
Okay, so right off the bat, the material highlights a major challenge. Getting into public universities in Germany for English-taught master's programs. The source calls it extremely difficult. It points to this minimum percentage requirement, something like 90% plus in your bachelor's from India. That seems incredibly high.
It is. And what's fascinating, or perhaps daunting, is why it's so high. It effectively creates a bottleneck, right? It means a lot of really talented Indian students who could otherwise do well just don't meet that specific academic cutoff for the public route in English. It really sets the stage for why looking elsewhere becomes necessary for many.
Right. It's less of a pathway and more like threading a needle for many applicants then. So if the public door is realistically closed for many because of that 90% bar, what's the alternative the source presents? Is there a way around this that still leads to a recognized German degree?
Well, yeah, exactly. The material points squarely at prestigious private universities in Germany. That's presented as the strategic answer here. It explains these places offer, and this is key, a valid master's degree taught entirely in English. So it becomes the practical path for students who, have good grades, but maybe not that 90% plus nut. And crucially, it emphasizes this is particularly relevant for those students seeking further stay back in Germany for opportunities of work visas and permanent settlement. It sort of reframes the goal beyond just the diploma itself.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about getting a degree, it's about getting the right degree that fits into a larger plan for staying in Germany. What are the specific advantages then, according to the source, of going this private uni route, especially if your long-term goal is Germany?
Okay, so connecting this to the bigger picture, the advantages are pretty compelling, according to this material. It explicitly states that admissions and visas are easier, which is huge, obviously.
Yeah.
And maybe even more critical for that long-term view, it's described as being less time-consuming and more reliable outcomes compared to navigating that super competitive public university system. For students aiming for residency eventually, that reliability factor, that's where the real aha moment might hit. It suggests a clearer, perhaps less uncertain path.
That does sound like a potential game changer. Less uncertainty is always good. And here's where it gets really interesting for me, looking at the long-term potential mentioned. The source literally says this route may lead to permanent residency in Germany and possibly a German passport in a few years. That's a huge statement. Plus, it touches on affordable tuition fees at some of these private places, which, let's be honest, is always a massive consideration.
Absolutely. And thinking about navigating all this, international applications, visas, residency rules, it raises the question. What help is out there? The material actually introduces a specific name, EEC. They seem to be an educational consultancy specializing in this. And what's quite notable is they apparently offer free-of-cost services to help students secure spots at these private universities. They mention support like guiding you through the whole APS process. That's the Academic Evaluation Center check, basically verifying your Indian qualifications for Germany, and also free help for student visa process. So it sounds like very practical, hands-on assistance through some potentially tricky bureaucratic steps.
Okay, that's crucial information. So for anyone listening who's thinking, right, this private uni route sounds more like me, how does the source say you can actually connect with this EEC group?
Yeah, it gives clear next steps. It says potential students can visit one of our branches in Gujarat. Or if that's not feasible, you can take online counseling to talk to an expert in German admissions and student visa. So they seem to offer both in-person and remote options.
Got it. So wrapping this part up, what does this all mean for you, our listener? What we've unpacked today suggests that, look, while German public universities have these really high entry bars for English masters, especially for Indian grads, these prestigious private universities offer a very real, pragmatic alternative. It's a path to a master's degree, yes, but potentially much more. It seems positioned as a viable route towards work opportunities after graduation, and then down the line, maybe permanent residency, even that German passport. It's definitely a strategic option if the public route feels out of reach.
Exactly. I think this deep dive really highlights something important. Understanding these different pathways, these alternative routes in education and immigration. It can genuinely unlock possibilities you might not have considered. It's not always about the path everyone talks about. Sometimes it's about finding the right strategic fit for your specific goals and circumstances.
A really good point. So here's something to think about until our next deep dive. How might understanding these kinds of alternative routes and the specialized support available fundamentally change your approach when you think about international education or future career opportunities abroad?